Okay, so it says, I'm gonna read again, the third verse. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me even unto this day. Fourth verse. For they are impotent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, and this is what we're doing right now. The commandment that the Most High gave to Ezekiel also applies to us. All right. That's one of the top, man. That's the top religion. Niggerism, simplism, demonism. Sign niggerless. thus saith Yahweh the Most High. It says, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Like, okay, like my man, which proves you, my man, a so-called Elder Quanath of the head of the FOPI. You went out there for about, what, 3 years? And then you got tired. You said, I'm tired. We getting tired. There's going to be a time you ain't going to see us out here no more. That was about a year ago. You know? That was about a year ago, man. I saw it in your face. You was on this. Before you said it, I said, this guy gonna make a special announcement, man. It says, but see, you know what he failed to read? He failed to read Ezekiel the 2nd chapter and the 5th verse. Read again. It says, and they, whether they hear or whether they will forbear. The Most High said, go out there and teach them whether they listen to you or not. It says, for they are rebellious house. Yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them. So any society that was set up, any power structure that was set up, anytime the Most High took this structure down, this power seat down, yeah, he said, I'm tired. Well, he retired, you know? Anyway, before society went down, the Most High always sent his prophets. So why is it different now? Why is it different now? Do you mean to tell me the Most High always sent his prophets before society went down? Yeah. But in this system, the Most High didn't send no prophets.
He said he don't change.
He don't change.
Malachi 3:6. Yeah, Malachi 3:6. He said he don't change. So he dealt with the prophets back in the past. He's dealing with the prophets now. And furthermore, what does it mean by it? For the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. What is meant by that? Meaning, if you were a prophet back in your past, right, you're going to come back being a prophet now. That's it. And all the word prophet means is say before.
That's it. 6th verse. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, because they're going to be talking shit. They're going to be talking about doing something to you. I'm talking about sending the Bloods and the Crips after you. I'm going to be talking about blowing you away. You know? Or they're going to be talking shit about you. Yeah, these guys, the GMS guys, those are the worst representatives of the nation of Israel. Like you know. Like the Most High he gets on the phone and calls you up. Yeah, I don't like the way GMS guys is coming, you know, teaching my people. You're gonna have to make a video getting on them guys. So you getting all emotional, man. We're coming exactly the way the Most High wants us to come, man. It says, I'm gonna read it again, 6th verse. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. Though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou doest dwell among scorpions. The Most High called you niggas a bunch of scorpions, man. The Most High said, though you dwell among scorpions, and what is a scorpion's job? His job is to kill you, man. His job is to crawl up on you and sting you and kill you, and that's poisonous, man. His job is to take you out. So the Most High said, these niggas are a bunch of scorpions, man. It says, be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks. Though they be a rebellious house, and thou shalt speak my words, not your words, not the decay, you know, not the the hidden book of Barnabas, the book of Enoch. It says, and thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious. 8, but thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. This is what the Most High thinks about the majority of Israel. He called them a bunch of scorpions. He said they were rebellious. He said that they were wicked. He called them Sodom's children. He called them worms. Call them all type of poisonous snakes. 8 verse again. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like this rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. Now, if you don't know, you think that you eat and you're not sure. Well, look, we'll show you how to eat. We're the ones that are feeding you, man. Matter of fact, give me that in Jeremiah 3. It was 3 and 15. The Most High said he's going to send somebody to feed you. So if you don't know how to eat, you know, like a baby, they put the bib on and they got the spoon with the plastic around it. And they take the baby food, not the steak. They take the baby food and they give it to you. And some of it you spit up on the bib and the mother takes a spoon and scoop it up. Well, that's what we're doing to you. See, you niggas is asking for a piece of steak. You got a piece of steak and you're choking, man. You've been choking for years. Hey, Polite asked for that piece of steak. He's a little baby about the whole rape issue. And we didn't want to give him that steak. Right. But no, I'm a grown man. He had a fake mustache on or whatever, like he's a baby with his fake mustache. He said, go ahead, give him a piece of steak. That nigga been choking on that same piece of steak for the last 3.5 years. And all you Israelite camps are choking on that steak. Alazar, you choking on that steak, man. On that same little piece of steak, you choking. And you got rebellious and you got emotional.
Yeah, somebody needs to do the Heimlich on you guys.
They won't let us do the Heimlich. You try to grab them around, you try to grab them around the back. They training you, man. We're trying to do the Heimlich on your dumb ass.
Jeremiah 3:15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And it shall come to pass when you be multiplied and increased in the land in those days, saith Yahweh, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of the Lord, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done anymore. I got a quick precept in the book of Philippians. This is Philippians chapter 1, verse 15. That you be blameless and harmless, the sons of the Most High, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. And that's pretty much, self-explanatory. I'm still holding Joel 2 whenever you want that, Apostle. This is back in Matthew chapter 24. I'll start at 4 again. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, which you see going on right now. See that you be not troubled. Why? Because in the book of Luke, the 21st chapter says, when you start seeing these things, look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. Your redemption draws near. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So you're going to see all these different things happening, but the end is not yet. Why? Because there's other prophecies that still have to be fulfilled before Yahushua can make his debut. But the Lord gave us the signs of things that we're supposed to look for, to know that, look, he's almost here. He's even at the door. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And you see that happening all over the world. And there shall be famines. You see that happening down in Venezuela, in different parts of the world. You got all different types of famines. and pestilences. You got the Zika virus down there. And by the way, you got these dumb bird. I mean, I can't even call them bird, but these dumb I can't blockheads, you know, athletes that are gonna go down to Brazil. I believe it's Brazil for the Olympics, and they agreed with these different doctors to have them monitor them, you know, with the Zika outbreak. You know, so if them or their spouse get the Zika virus, and they're gonna allow them to test them and see how the virus takes place and the effects of the virus and this, that, the other. Man, you people are out of your damn mind, man. It says, so there's gonna be famines and pestilences. That Zika virus, that's a pestilence, and all these other pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places, and that's what's going on around the world. You have different earthquakes happening all over the place, and these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And that's true, man. We hated for the Lord's name's sake. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, not sweet Jesus, not Yeshaya, not Ahia, not Yahweh, not Yehoshua or Yeshua or Yahshua or whatever you want to call it. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. It says, and then shall many be offended, and a lot of you guys are offended, you know, especially among you other Israelite groups. You're offended at the fact that we tell you the truth. Did not the Apostle Paul say, it might become your enemy because I tell you the truth? It says, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. That's where you have guys like Nate, General Yohana, Rakah from the GOCC. You got James White. You got Moses Malone. Not Moses Malone. Vocab Malone. I always keep getting those two names confused. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And that's what we're in the midst of that right now.
It's already happened. It started back in 2007. So this is what, 9 years in, going on 10 years in. So, and like I've been saying for the last couple of months, the 144,000 are already sealed. Okay, because that's a small number.
It says, and when you shall, and
well, that's my, you know, that's what I think. I'm not saying for sure, but you know, I'm just, my thought, you know, is that they got to be sealed, man.
It says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Now this was some.
You know I said you got to explain that, because you got guys out there, those shallow Israelites. They'll teach that, and they'll say it's talking about now. It's not talking about now. It was talking about during the time of the Flavian dynasty. All right.
That's when that took place, and that was written in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter. You know, and this is when that took place. You know, when they were inside of, or besieging the temple in Jerusalem. That's what Yahushua meant when you see that. So when you saw that, Yahushua said, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains, meaning run. That why do you think some of those Israelites ran to Masada, you know, for refuge, to hide from the Romans? It says, let him which is on the home on a housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. So you weren't supposed to go back to Jerusalem for nothing. You're supposed to, okay, you see what's going on? Yep, the Romans will come in, not the redcoats, the Romans. The Romans will come in, and you had to flee. That's why you had Israelites that fled down into the interiors of Africa. You had some Israelites that fled up, you know, into interiors of Asia Minor. Pella and Macedon, which is up there like around the land of Greece. You know, you had Israelites that went, you know, because you had Israelites that were coming from different regions among the so-called East Indians and the Persians and all that, from all those different lands. So when they spread out, they took off in those directions.
Yeah, I got a precept for you. The book of Luke 21:20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And that's talking about 70 AD. When the Titus and Titus and Domitian, which Domitian came later. You had Titus Caesar, and I believe Vespasian and Titus Caesar. They, mounted those armies against Israel, destroyed the temples. This is what Yahushua is talking about. When you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And when Yahushua said that, that didn't happen until like almost 40 years later. That was a future prophecy. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. And this is backing up what you're saying. And let them which Judea flee into the mountains, which, a lot of them fled into the north and west part of Africa. A lot of them fled into Western Europe. Okay. A lot of them, like you said, went north to Asia, Asia Minor. A lot of them even went as far as Far East, Japan, China. So that was the beginning of something called the diaspora, the scattering of the Israelites, which is why we say the Israelites are all over the world today. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. So he couldn't go back into Jerusalem. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled, which is what? Prophecy.
I got some document. It says Jesus right here. Jesus, while looking over the Temple Mount in Jerusalem shortly before his death, prophesied that its beautiful stones will be thrown down within a generation. He warned that the residents should flee Jerusalem to the mountains when they saw the Roman armies, and this was during the time of the Flavian dynasty, Vespasian, Titus, and then later Domitian, surrounding the city. That's why you got to know history, all right? Like I said, you got a lot of these Israelite groups. They'll read scriptures. They'll whatever they learned from one West, and they don't go into the history. So if you question them on that, they're lost, man. It says Romans are surrounding the city. It says Jesus. I don't even like to say that word. Admonition is found in each of the synoptic gospels. Matthew 21:15 to 22, Mark 13:14 to 20, Luke 21:20 to 24. It says perhaps that word, the J word, I don't even want to say it, visited Pella during his visit to the Decapolis, and that was Mark 7:31. I got to check that out. And Perea, Matthews 19:1, Mark 10 verses 1, and recalling its secure location, critically referred to it in this prophecy. Eusebius Church History. It says, recounts that the Jewish followers of Jesus heeded his warning and fled to Pella for safety before Jerusalem's destruction. That's all I got to read on that. But then you have, like I said, you have church history. You have these documents of these church fathers, which is not the gospel. But I mean, if it backs up what the scriptures is saying, then you can deal with it. You say this is a document. It's not a part of the Bible, but this is part of the history.
That's right. Okay, so back at Matthew 24, and I started 17 again. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's probably